At Talus, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Talus, you can secure what matters most. With Talus industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Talus to protect what matters most: applications, data, and identities. That's Talus, T-H-A-L-E-S. Learn more at talusgroup.com/cyber.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for this day.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writings of your favorite novels. This autumn-ish, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Heir of Fire.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week we'll discuss one book from our autumn-ish book club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide our flash analysis of each book, as well as discuss listener thoughts. This is part 2 of this week's episode, where we're discussing When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker.
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversation on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, series spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. If you're enjoying the podcast, check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk. I want to talk about a point of view that came in at the most random points, and that's not the sister. I think the sister gets the most random point of view awards. But before we go into that, I want to talk a little bit about Khan, who, again, sometimes his point of view would come in. I'm like, what are we doing here? What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about with you now?
I know. I thought it was an interesting choice. I mean, on one hand, I understand the reason why we get Khan's perspective in the beginning when he sees his niece.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, given the ending of the book, and we realize it's actually his daughter, but does he know that it's his daughter? No, he does not.
Mm-hmm.
But then we don't have his point of view for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like, was there a rhyme or reason?
Convenience.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that the rhyme or reason was to get certain plots or story points. Like, we needed to meet the niece briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And we needed to know that he doesn't hate his niece, you know what I mean? Or that she's on the run.
Yeah.
And rather than just kind of describe it like Sarah wanted us to see it, which is fine. But then again, when we get to Khan's point of view, then it's like, okay, well, he's going to be gone for 30 days. And that's like, we're getting the reasoning there.
Yeah.
Like, and then, sorry, we get Khan's point of view for more characters that doesn't make fucking sense, where we're in Khan's point of view, and then his friend that we barely got to meet decides to go off on his own little journey to go find some dragons that we never see again. See you in book 2, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, we got his, I mean, that's what I mean by convenience sake, right? Like,
Yeah.
Talk about a book 2, like, we're gonna, you know, you're gonna come in magically at a certain point with a dragon, you know, riding a dragon, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're back. And
yeah,
we're getting that because, like, Khan's point of view progresses certain storylines, even though we may not know. And it's just so light and faded that
Yeah, to some extent, I wish we never had his point of view.
I agree.
I feel like everything could have been achieved through conversation, through bits of dialogue that you overhear. Grimm, who goes in to capture the egg of the big silver saber scythe, he didn't need to be introduced. He could have waited till book 2.
Truly. It could have been and where's Grant? Or whatever his name is. Oh, he's on his way to go grab something, you know?
Yeah. He disappeared with some ruined boots. We have no idea. We haven't seen him in a while. It's not like you're worried about your niece who's been missing.
Right? Like, he casually sees his niece and she's like, I'm on the run. He goes, great. Bye.
And then never thinks of her again.
No. Like, that was the most. That could have been dialogue. Report, Your Majesty. Your niece is missing. Oh, no. Great. I mean, especially when all of a sudden you get like Rex is in love with his niece, sort of, or like is really into her. And I'm like, when did that happen? You're dead. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I think if we were to get rid of Khan's point of view, a lot more mystery would have happened for us.
Yeah.
And that would have added tension because then we'd be asking, why does this man act like he loves her? Why? It would have been great to not even know who the hell Eowyn was. The second they're like, she looks like, I'm like, oh, okay, it's all like, that's who she is. You know, there was not a single mystery, and all of the mystery was spoiled throughout before it could even be a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it was always in Khan's point of view almost. Like the majority of the mystery was spoiled through him.
Yeah.
And without mystery, there's no tension.
Yeah. I completely agree. I understand why maybe Sarah wanted to introduce us to some of the characters that are in Khan's life who will have roles to play later, and establishing those characters so we care about them. Because I'm interested in some of them.
Oh, yeah.
And learning more about them when they come back. Still could have been a book 2 thing. We
could
learn so much about Rhys and Cassian and Azriel in Mist and Fury.
Yeah.
For Cassian and Azriel to have never been mentioned, let alone more, like Amryn, you don't have to introduce everybody.
You don't. You really don't. It would have been so nice to be confused about why he's giving her his special necklace. You know, it would have been great to be confused on why is he fighting so hard for her in this battle to be her tribe partner, you know? I mean, I almost would have like pulled back on the flashbacks even, you know, of her having those flashbacks. I would have maybe saved that towards the end of having 1 or 2 flashbacks, like really pull back. I would have, if you're going to drag something out, having her remember anything and just feeling this like weird attraction to him and then him being like very into her. And then everyone being really weird around her and us not knowing who Eowyn was beyond the fact that there's like these journal entries and then having that as the reveal towards the very end would have like, and then you add the kid on top of that and it would have been bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been a good doozy.
Yeah. And then you get to explore the conflict in book 2, right? Of her coming to terms with this identity that she didn't realize was hers. Her trying to understand, are the feelings she has for Khan hers?
Yeah.
Or not hers? Is it real or not real?
That's such a great fucking point. I'm like so mad at good you are. I'm happy, angry at you. Having Rave struggle with this idea of she is very much aware she is Rave. And Rave has gone through some shit. Is she in love with Khan or is Eowyn in love with Khan? Yeah. And I think it would have been really nice to see Rave fall in love with Khan.
Yeah, exactly. Rave needed to fall in love with Khan and Khan needed to fall in love with Rave. And I would love for us to not know any of that until the end of book 1. So it's so messy for book 2, but then it's so gratifying when they figure it out.
Yeah, because then it would have been like, you knew and you didn't tell me. Are you actually in love with me? And then it's like, well, of course I'm in love with you. Like, didn't you notice when I stopped calling you Moonbeam in chapter 6? You know what I mean? Like, that's, that would have been like those little subtle moments, right? Like, if he stopped, like you said, if he stopped calling her Moonbeam, if he, they come up with different inside jokes.
Yeah.
Like, those would have been really good moments where we could see that he's falling in love with her. But then, and then come book 2, it's like, yes, he is in love with her. But that struggle of having her have more of a separation between Rave and Elowen and saying, who is he in love with, would have been a wonderful tension, even if you leave it to book 2.
Yeah. Would eat that shit up.
Like, I'm hungry. Give it to me. Redo this book. Someone else write that. I don't know. I really do love an amnesia past life. Like, that is my favorite thing. Sailor Moon set me up for that entirely.
Yes, it did. Explains so much.
No, completely. Like, the moment I was like, you're telling me she's a princess who kind of died but doesn't remember her identity? Yes. Yes, I want that so much. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I'm on board with this book. I just want it different. And I think for a character, for being in Khan's point of view and for giving us his point of view, there was no conflict in him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the conflict of, do I tell her, do I not tell her? Well, he tells her, right? You don't have the conflict of, my Elowen is gone. This is not my Elowen. I see hints of her, but this is not my Elowen. You get hints of maybe like, oh, she's been really hurt before. She's been very much hurt, but we don't get anything beyond that. And it's like, if you're going to give us his point of view, develop him.
Yeah, I agree. I like Khan, but he is a flat character.
Yeah.
He did not have enough conflict, and really the only purpose of his POV, other than lifting the veil on mystery and not allowing us mystery, was to tell us what Rave's psyche is going through in the moment when Rave is not self-aware.
You're right. We have the man telling us what the female character is thinking about, and that's bullshit. He's explaining her psyche. I'm mad now. I don't like that. I don't want a man telling me what I'm feeling. I'll be mad about that. So I don't have a male therapist. I don't like people telling me what I'm thinking. Julia's the only one who can. That's my therapist. She's the only one to tell me what I'm thinking. And Amy.
And I get it wrong.
Yeah, but you help me get there where I'm like, no, I think it's this. But yeah, like that's his, every time we are in his point of view, it's to explain Rave or it's to give a smidgen of this other kind of plot thing that is happening over here that we could have done in summary.
Yeah. So, for example, we learn about, what is it? Flirt fall? When the dragons are mating?
Fling? Yeah. Not fall. Flirt fling.
I don't remember.
The flirt. It's the great flirt.
Festival. Flirt festival?
That makes more sense.
I think so. I can't remember. Like, we learned that was the last moment the two, Elowen and Khan, were together before she abandoned him and he was heartbroken and then she dies. I would have loved to not know any of that. For him to be like, come dance with me. She gets dressed up. They have this interaction. They have this like really intimate moment. They can have sex.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed afterward that she's already lived this story with him.
Great. It would have been great. Especially seeing like, yeah. It looked like you were rubbing your boobs. I got goosebumps. I think that I love that. I think it also adds that tension of, why is he looking at me like he's never going to see me again? Is he going to say goodbye to me? Why is he acting this way? I'm trying to say goodbye to him. So why does he look like he's trying to say goodbye to me?
Yep.
Why
does he already look sad?
Exactly. Like, those would have been versus us as a reader being like, well, I know exactly why he's sad,
Yeah.
I didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
I want to be just as torn up with Rave and confused, because again, that would have been a great kind of betrayal to find out we've already played this out.
Yep.
That's kind of violating. Because then it's almost like cheating on me, like in a way of like, you're trying to recreate your love with Elowen. I'm not Elowen.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels like a betrayal.
Yeah. Because then it's like, do you even care about me? You care about recreating the last moments you had with Elowen.
Exactly.
And that's a very worthy conversation. At that point, they really made it sound like she remembered almost 80% of her life.
Yeah.
And the only thing she can't remember is both the kid and the why she left.
Right.
Just those two things. But otherwise, she really seemed to know everything else that was going on.
I don't know that she remembers her family. I think she only remembers being with Khan.
She only remembers the sex. That's
Yeah,
fair.
basically.
That's fair. That's understandable. Real quick, I do want to talk about his sister in the sense that she had no point in this book.
Yeah.
What was the point of her going to go get her bangle thing from the evil monster?
So that she could disguise herself to get the journal.
Dumb. That was the most... We did not need that in the slightest. I would have been okay not having her point of view until the very last chapter. I think that would have been okay.
Yeah.
And her kind of reflecting on, I needed to get out of the house. I couldn't see her. And if we still didn't know that she was Eloin, you know what I mean? I would, if you wanted to save that she's Eloin reveal at the very end, that would have been great, especially if we were doing it from her point of view and being like, oh, she needed to get out for a reason, but her entire journey I did not need except for that last chapter.
Yeah. And her last chapter could have been the epilogue, to be honest.
Agreed.
So I, again, enjoyed the book. This is
Story of a girl.
This is Sarah's story. She did what she wanted to do with it. And it teaches me what I would do differently if I ever get around to my Romantasy book.
Yeah, I think this is a good example of there's a lot of good elements, and just because there's a lot of good elements doesn't mean it mixes.
Right.
Why? And I think that this is, we had Cruel Thirst last week, and I thought it was a really good example of, wow, there's a lot of elements that make sense and work together in our point of views. There are people who didn't feel that way, but we felt that way. And I'm taking this as an observation of well, why is it that a lot of people have things that... There are a number of people who wrote to us saying, I didn't like it. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I feel like we're doing great. So before we read some of those comments, I would like to read you my notes.
Okay.
I just checked and it's 39%. We are basically 40% into this book and I still don't know what the plot is. Update. 70%. I still don't know what the plot is. Update. I think the plot is that Rave wants to get revenge while Khan wants to save his niece. I don't know what he needed to do to save... what he needs to do to save her, but I feel like I'm reaching here. Rave never questioned why the king took her and the motivation to kill the guy who killed her friend. Oh, yeah, the motivation to kill
Rex
was very half-hearted. Very half-hearted. Okay, so you're telling me that Rave was processing who she was for her identity for 30 days and doesn't talk to the guys about it, and the guys are just watching her saying, oh, look, there's Rave, and then Khan comes back and they're like, yeah, it's no big deal. How does she not go and talk to all the other people who remember her?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when she wakes up and kind of goes through the, which I was also confused about that. It was funny, but I didn't know what was happening, where she was like, I'm going to trade this candlestick for a sword. And now I'm going to take the sword for your snacks. And now I'm going to... And I thought it was funny in the sense that oh, everyone's just letting her do it because she has the special necklace on. Oh, here's a good point I made. The use of manipulation of sex for the first time that they have sex and how Khan taints it with manipulating her. And...
You mean you didn't enjoy the edging?
I think it's because I've had guys manipulate me with sex, in the middle of sex, trying to get me to agree to things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't like that. It's hot while reading it entirely.
Yeah.
But I've been in situations where guys are trying to get their way and they're using sex as that. And this is the first time they have sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it taints that. I think that's a great part. I'm not criticizing that. I think we make it manipulative. We make it kind of, give it a bad taste of
yeah,
that's the first time that they have sex, but we never come back to that.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's one thing that when the second book comes out, it has to be addressed.
Yeah.
Right. Because that is problematic, regardless if she's Elowen or Rave.
Yeah, completely. And there's, I mean, like, truly, the fact that this is like their first time coming together is first time for her really remembering it and in this body. This time, you know, this is not the first time, but it is the first. Like, it just is. It was really gross and tainted in many ways. And I am so okay with that. But like, finally, you're giving us tension. And then there's nothing with this tension. In fact, they just keep having sex after.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. We're just going to breeze right past that one.
Yeah.
The fact that they're fae was weird to me. And it makes literally zero sense. And I've talked about this with you on my book where I was like, do I call them fae or something else? Because fae just feels like such a catch-all. And for an author who I feel like she's very familiar with high fantasy in general, you can't tell me, maybe she has read Lord of the Rings, or at least she's watched it a lot. But if you're coming, like, the concept of fae has history behind it. There's a reason why SJM has the night court, day court, you know, there is lore behind fae. And now it's starting to turn into a little bit of a catch-all.
Yeah, it's gotten watered down.
Yeah.
The true folklore behind the fae is very detailed. Like, look at their other earlier books who play on it and still honor it. Like
The Cruel Prince.
The Cruel Prince, some of Cassandra Clare's books with the Seelie and Unseelie courts. Like, those are real parts of the folklore that now it's just anybody who lives for a long time
is fae. And for Sarah, who put so much time into this world, it felt like something that I'm struggling with as my own, like, writing my own book of like, do I call them fae? Do I call them something else? And Amy helped me with calling them something else because it's like, they're not fae.
I didn't need them to be called fae.
No.
I didn't need them to be called anything.
Yeah. I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Yeah. So those were, and then the whole Fallon Lark torture flashbacks were too vague for me that I did not understand what was happening. I didn't understand we were having a flashback. I didn't understand that there was a Fallon fire lark. Like, it wasn't until the end where he was like, where the scavenger king was like, my fire lark. And I was like, is that what was happening? Like, what? I don't understand. And I think that's where it comes into, like, the descriptions are too heavy.
Yeah.
And the prose are too much, where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm reading.
Yeah. Even Aelin would pause to catch her breath. We'll be right back.
There's something about fall food that is just so cozy and yet so difficult to make, mainly because there's always a million different ingredients. Half the battle is just even going grocery shopping, and luckily with HelloFresh, it takes out all of the hard parts.
HelloFresh provides healthy ingredients with high protein and veggie-packed recipes, and it helps you eat greener and leaner if that's what you're looking for.
Plus, if you really want to dive into more fall foods, HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. Their portions are very generous.
The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/BookTok10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
That's HelloFresh.com/BookTok10FM. BookTalk10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life.
Amy, it is my time to shine because fall is in full swing.
All I want for fall are those big, soft sweaters that I can wear everywhere, but they are way too expensive.
Fortunately, Quince makes it easy to look polished, stay warm, and save big without compromising on quality.
I love their elevated pieces that are just those go-to essentials for fall, including their 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. You can't get that anywhere else.
I got one of their cardigans last year. It was my favorite cardigan cardigan, and it's going to continue to be my favorite cardigan.
I have always wanted one of those giant wool coats, and I've never made the investment because they're so expensive, but I actually can get the quality that I'm looking for a decent price through Quince.
That's because by partnering directly with ethical, top-tier factories and cutting out the middleman, Quince is able to deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless.
I love my 100% cotton button-ups that I've got for this summer. They were a perfect transition piece for summer to fall. Keep it classy and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK to get free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Summer might be over, but hydration is never over.
I need it more than ever now that it's back to school season.
Thank goodness for Liquid IV, because that is what's getting me hydrated and ready for the fall.
Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise.
3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick.
1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water is more hydrating than water alone.
Liquid IV has their new Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free Hydration Energy. This is what I use daily.
It's 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes, and 9 essential vitamins for a sugar-free, crash-free boost.
The fact that it has natural caffeine, it's perfect for that jitter-free, sugar-free lift, because you know how I react to caffeine.
And you know what? It comes in 2 amazing flavors. They have a sugar-free energy strawberry kiwi and the best sugar-free energy blackberry lemonade.
I had food poisoning this week, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you I had my Liquid IV in my giant tumbler, just sipping it, trying to stay hydrated, and I think it saved me.
It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, or in Jack's case, food poisoning stamina.
Ditch the glitch with 0 sugar and 0 crash from Liquid IV.
Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with the code BookTalk at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order with code BookTalk. BookTalk at liquidiv.com.
As a kid, there was nothing more important than that next PlayStation game. My parents made us save for that stuff.
If only you had Acorns Early.
Yeah, because I had to carry cash, man. That's hard to keep.
Acorns Early is the smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
If you're one of those parents who likes chore charts, you can start with in-app chores trackers and teach your kids the value of $1.
By doing that, it lets your kids set their own saving goals and start building healthy money habits early. I really wish I had something like this when I was younger.
I wish my parents made me do this now.
Actually, yes.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their very own customizable debit card, giving them that extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early's spending limits and real-time spending notifications, you are always going to stay in control, parents.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/booktalk or download the Acorns Early app. That's 1 month free when you sign up for acornsearly.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fees starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms. All right, let's read some comments. Fee says, this is under what I didn't like. The use of language was very confusing. I had to use ChatGPT to summarize the book for me. I was genuinely so confused by this book. It felt very jerky and jumping around the place. I DNF'd it because it shouldn't be that hard to keep up with what was happening. It had such potential and it was let down for me by an awful writing style.
See, and here's the thing. I loved the prose, but it just wasn't appropriate in the instances where she tried to flex.
Yep. This person says, oops, thought it was a different book. Okay. I'm just going through the DMs. No, someone saying that they're like, I was waiting to see what you have to say. Okay, so that was all of the DMs.
So a lot of the positive comments about what people liked was definitely in the camp of the world building, the very unique magic system. I really liked the magic system.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's gods and you sing or you say words and they have their own personalities and their own like agendas. I thought that was great.
So this is what I needed TikTok to explain to me, is that you have all the gods, and I'm just like reciting things that you probably paid attention to, but I'm just saying these out loud because I was like, I needed someone to explain it to me. You have all the gods, and then there was one god that started taking moons, and then the gods were just like, hey, you can't do that. And he said, stop me. And they said, okay, we're putting you into this black jewel. So then they put the black jewel onto a queen because let's abuse women and let's make them wear this thing that's going to suck the life out of them and drown their power out.
I also had a major problem with that.
And it's passed down from princess to princess. And then Eowyn eventually gets it and it can't come off. It's stuck on your forehead,
until you die.
Which is really creepy. And I don't like that, but it's okay. Because remind me of that one rapper who got a jewel implanted in his forehead. It was very creepy. And then Eowyn is pregnant. The jewel essentially sucks her life force so that by the time she dies, her dragon takes her, encompasses her into its body, takes it into the sky, and then, they die in the sky. And then her daughter gets the jewel thing and for 80-something years has it on, but then takes it off 20 years ago. And when she takes it off is when the mom comes down, is when Eowyn comes crashing to the ground.
Oh, I didn't realize she took it off.
Yeah. See? Because when she took it off, that's when she tells Daddy Uncle that she can hear the god and that she's fallen in love with him.
Okay. I didn't realize. I must have missed the part where she said, I took it off.
Yeah.
I heard the part where she's like, I'm in love with him.
Or either she took it off or she took off. No, sorry. She took off the iron that was suppressing what she could hear.
Oh, yeah.
So she's still wearing it, but she took off the iron that was suppressing it. And the moment she took the iron off is the moment that her timeline wise is the time that her mom fell from the moon.
Interesting.
So that's a big part. And people think that the quote unquote other in Rave's head is her dragon. These are, I'm just explaining what this one user told me. I sent that to you on the TikTok.
For a while, I thought the other in her was Eowyn. Like Eowyn gone insane.
Yeah, I thought the other was one of the gods.
I could see that.
I was like, I thought the other was just the other gods. Like,
yeah.
Because aren't they all in her? Like, doesn't she have the power of all the gods?
She can hear all of them.
Yeah, so she has all their, kind of power.
Right.
But she doesn't have any of the jewels. Yeah, I like the power system quite a bit.
Yeah.
Love Con, love the flashbacks, diary method, magic system. I love a good diary method. Huge fan of that.
Yeah. Someone said, it is so hard to do a Lost Memories plot, but I am so impressed with how she did it.
Yep. The collected shards so her dragon can move back into its own body. Was it to move back into its own body? Was it just to make sure that the dragon was whole?
I thought it was so the dragon was whole.
I thought so too. But Malls, maybe you know more than I do. Malls also says, Nee was perfect. The timing was phenomenal.
I liked Nee. Nee was like what endeared me to Rave.
Nee was... I only remember Nee at the very beginning, at the very end. Did we get Nee throughout?
That's it. No, that's it.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Nee did nothing for me.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting mystery. The yearning. Yeah, people love good yearning.
Yeah. Well,
love a yearn.
We're all about the slow burn again these days.
But there was no slow burn here. That's the thing. It was plot slow, but not slow burn.
You don't think yearning qualifies as slow burn?
No, I do. I just don't think they had enough yearning and slow burn here.
Okay.
For a book that took forever, I feel like they got together pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Once you get through the world building, the plot twists were pretty solid. how in-depth it felt, the writing feeling so flowery and unique dragons.
Someone said that it ended.
Oh
Was
my
what
God.
they liked.
Yeah, we're currently still reading the prose. I mean, there's some people who really like the plot twists, the plot, and the writing, and,
Yeah.
power to it. I totally can see why people like that, because all of these are elements I did enjoy. Some of it would be things I would do differently, I would recommend differently. The complexity, love the characters and their complexities. Rain really stuck with me. Yeah, when she was crying, I actually got emotional when he was holding her after she was crying. He goes, I remember a girl who once cried with the rain,
And
roared
she
with the
thought
wind.
yeah.
Yeah, and thought I couldn't hear. And that one got me. That
Mhm.
one, oh, that did it. That one did something to me.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of people that have said they love the lyricalness of the writing, the whimsical style. And again, yeah, that's a preference thing.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to read some dislikes. A bit too long. The multiple POVs felt unnecessary. Hey, I agree with you. Some of these POVs, cut them all. Cut them all. Plot felt stagnant the entire time.
Hmm. Someone said the whole weird side quest with the Fatebringer Lucky Dragon thing. The Fatebringer? I was at a point where I was just like, I can't predict what's going to come next. Is the Fatebringer really Khan? Does he shapeshift?
That's funny. I can understand that confusion. That was one of the most interesting parts of the book for me. And it just kind of happened and disappeared
Yep.
just as quickly as it came.
Yep.
It was there, the Fatebringer was there, and then it never to be seen again.
Yep.
There were no consequences to this moment either.
No.
What was the point? Just for it to be like, you're going to have kids that are super blessed.
Well, then it was for Khan to come and give her the Melmer, and
He could give that to her on the river. Felt like I was drowning in info. I get that.
Yeah, someone said, only read a few pages, truly didn't draw me in, and felt as if I didn't know what was going on.
Another one says, years since reading, meandering until the very late reveal. Yeah, the late reveal was such an underwhelming reveal for me personally, because I was like, we know that's her child. We figured that out.
I listened on audiobook, and I think this book was made to be read the first time around. It was really hard to follow on audio, and I don't usually struggle with that.
Yeah.
You definitely have to pay attention, and there were a couple chapters where I was trying to multitask, and I was like, oh, I gotta go back.
The amount of times I had to hit backwards to figure out, be like, what just happened? What just happened? And then by the time I would catch up to what I couldn't pay attention to, I was no longer paying attention. I was like, damn it. I'm reading and not liking it, but I like that she is a little sadist while killing. And he's super hot. I do like that she's a little sadist too, but I think that's Rain or someone else inside her, which is like, that crazy bitch.
Oh, that's Clove.
Chloe, yeah.
Is the wind, because the wind is always laughing.
I love it because she does say in her head, like, that crazy bitch. That's yeah. I like that she ends up eating like the people, where there's a little cannibalism in there. Like she pulled out a tendon between her fingers, and then she said, like, she's even made a comment like, not the worst thing that I've eaten during one of these blackouts.
Took too long to understand the world, so I feel like it took longer to get to know Rave.
We have someone who has like 3 different submissions of how they don't like the prose. Like different ways of saying that the prose were terrible, the prose were bad and excessive, the prose were someone did not like the prose. I thought Crescent City had some intense world building, but this is a whole other level. Yeah, this is high fantasy. This is high fantasy. And this is why I don't want to write high fantasy. Yeah. I'm actively trying not to. But I'm friends with a bunch of nerds that keep challenging me. And if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. But this is specifically why I don't want to do high fantasy, is because I know I want a lot of romantic elements to mine. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to do high fantasy,
It's about the high fantasy.
You kind of need to make all of it high fantasy. You don't get to have stabby characters like that.
Yeah. The FMC was insufferable. The book tried too hard to make her badass tough, and it backfired.
Yeah.
Someone did say there wasn't a lot of depth to Raven Khan. She felt like a wannabe Selena from Throne of Glass.
That is, and then I'm going to read this comment and I kind of want to go into that. Felt too much like other FMCs I've read. Writing itself felt overdone, uneven pacing. So the feeling like Selena, it's just when you have a confident, funny, stabby character that's kind of an assassin. Yeah, it's kind of a rinse and repeat. I think that we got into the habit of shadow daddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're breaking out of shadow daddies. And I think we're now into this like stabby, I'm deadly FMC. And I promise you guys, mine won't be. She's not a stabby hoe. Felt lost between the past and present. And then an ending I had to reread.
Interesting.
Okay, just says, I couldn't fully follow the reveal that Rave is Elowen and how the plot twist made sense. I don't know if it was user error or writing style, but I found the plot to be confusing. Also, dragon ticks. That's funny. That's another thing of like, here's a dragon tick. And I mean, that's fine. It's like we only see it brought back one time, and that's the one reason that Khan needs to leave. I'll allow it. It felt like it didn't have a super established plot at first and didn't explain things well. You know, I hope this makes you feel better. I feel better of like other people very much catching the same thing that we're seeing.
Yeah.
The lack of plot.
Yeah, I understand how obviously divisive this is. I liked one of these comments because I thought the exact same thing. The start in the club was weird. Felt like a 1920s gangster movie. Definitely. With the speakeasy and the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is an amazing world. At the same time, it also felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because of how much traveling and how much we see. Whereas if you think about first books and a lot of other fantasy series we've read, it's very relegated to a specific area.
I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to bring in Quicksilver. I don't think that When the Moon Hatched had much traveling. We have the first place we see her. We have the cabin. I'm going to offshoot the cabin with the tribe. Like they're kind of like, they were so close to each other. And then you have the castle area.
Yeah, that's true.
There wasn't much traveling. I mean, no more than when you have Quicksilver and the places that they go to.
True.
So, like, I mean, that's just kind of like another of... I keep thinking about this book and I only think about certain points of the book and I keep asking myself, when the hell did it get so long? That's also part of my struggle is, like, I can tell you what happened, but why is it that I can tell you what happened in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
But it's a 20-hour book.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you why that is. I think the way you described it makes sense. It didn't know what it wanted to be. I wonder how much of it was Sarah feeling like she needed to add romantasy elements in it.
Maybe. I mean, indie published at first. In some ways you have more freedom, but in other ways, if you want to sell your book, it's hard, right? You got to figure out what the people want.
I mean, we've talked to our author friends. Like, it truly comes down to what are the tropes, right?
Yep.
And what are the tropes in this? Like, you get one cabin.
Dragons.
Dragon
writing.
Enemies to lovers, even though they're not really enemies to lovers. You get hidden past.
Yeah, past life or fated mates, but not fated mates.
Yeah. I couldn't even really fully give you all the tropes here. That's another one, is I couldn't really give you stabby female character.
King in disguise.
Sort of. For a minute.
Yeah. Secret society.
For a minute. That we only see for the beginning for a minute.
Yeah. Dead parents.
Hey, they're continuing to be dead. That's good.
Yeah.
So that was another part where, I thought we were gearing up to something when he reveals that his dad killed her parents. Because he thinks about like, oh, I'm going to have to tell her this.
And then he never tells her.
And like, she doesn't ask. She doesn't know about... I think I'm the most curious to see how the kid element plays out, because I feel like we just got a pregnancy trope but skipped the pregnancy.
I am too. I am very interested. I mean, it's going to start with conflict, right? Because her response to her daughter's note saying, I need you, is no, you don't.
Yeah.
When her daughter obviously needs help right now. So it could get really messy and it could be very interesting. Who knows?
I think what I'm going to be curious, and what I feel like Sarah's going to have to win me over with, is that Rave is very immature. She reads like 20-something-year-old, which is what she is.
Right. She is.
Except she's not. She's also a mother, now that,
right.
She's someone who.
But she never had to be a mom.
No, but she went through those years of being, the months of being pregnant and knowing that her fate was coming and having made sacrifices for the people that she loves and for her child, and I don't want to say that she didn't have years of being a mother, but it doesn't discount the months that women are pregnant and they are mothers, and, just as much mothers then. And when Elowen died, she was a mom. What we have now is a very immature 20-something-year-old.
Yeah.
Who is going to meet her daughter who's older than her.
Yeah, that's weird.
And at that point has kind of had more life experience.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like 100-ish.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's going to be strange. I think it's a perfect setup for I Am My Own Grandpa.
What is that?
Oh, have you never heard? It's from a movie from like the 80s or 90s.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it's from.
It's a song from some sort of satire. I will find it and I will send it to you.
Yeah, it is going to set it up for it. I think it's going to be really, that could be a very interesting conflict that I have never seen before. And I would love to see how that goes. It's giving me, again, Sailor Moon, because her daughter comes from the future and hangs out with her when she's a teenager, and her daughter is like a kid. And, love that. But it's also, it's going to be hard to not take it seriously, but it's going to be really hard to keep Rave relatable.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to grow her up very quickly and have her be a mom. And now you go from immature 20-something-year-old to.
Or she's just not going to be a mom because she's going to be like, that's not me. I know my body gave birth to you, but that's not who I am.
But Fallon, the one who died, I think is going to have been like her surrogate child. I think I felt like there was the whole time, I figured out that was her daughter pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of confused because I was like, wait, was her daughter tortured? Was the princess tortured? Did I miss that? Because the way that she talks about Fallon was very motherly in ways, or sisterly, or, responsibility, right? And she has this tendency to take other people on like it's their like her responsibility.
It's true. It's the same with Essie.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in there. It's in her.
Yeah.
It's just going to be very hard to have that play out. I think Khan's ready to be a dad. He's like, let's go play catch. Let's get the whole football or baseball and let's just go play catch. I'm here for you. Yeah. There's been enough stuff to set it up for an epic book 2.
Yeah.
May it be an epic book 2.
I look forward to seeing what happens.
Comes out in October.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. Until next time, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Next week, we will be discussing Where the Shadows Meet by Patrice Caldwell.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. If you would like to submit your take on any of the books we plan to discuss later this autumnish, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle BookTalk for Book Talk. Bye.
Amy, it is my time to shine because fall is in full swing.
All I want for fall are those big, soft sweaters that I can wear everywhere, but they are way too expensive.
Fortunately, Quince makes it easy to look polished, stay warmed, and save big without compromising on quality.
I love their elevated pieces that are just those go-to essentials for fall, including their 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. You can't get that anywhere else.
I got one of their cardigans last year. It was my favorite cardigan, and it's going to continue to be my favorite cardigan.
I have always wanted one of those giant wool coats, and I've never made the investment because they're so expensive, but I actually can get the quality that I'm looking for a decent price through Quince.
That's because by partnering directly with ethical, top-tier factories and cutting out the middleman, Quince is able to deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless.
I love my 100% cotton button-ups that I've got for this summer. They were a perfect transition piece for summer to fall. Keep it classy and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince.
Go to quince.com/booktalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK to get free shipping and 365-day returns.
Quince.com/booktalk.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
Summer might be over, but hydration is never over.
I need it more than ever now that it's back to school season.
Thank goodness for Liquid IV because that is what's getting me hydrated and ready for the fall.
Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise.
3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick.
1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water is more hydrating than water alone.
Liquid IV has their new Liquid IV's Energy Multiplier Sugar-Free Hydration Energy. This is what I use daily.
It's 0 sugar, 3 times the electrolytes, and 9 essential vitamins for a sugar-free, crash-free boost.
The fact that it has natural caffeine, it's perfect for that jitter-free, sugar-free lift because you know how I react to caffeine.
And you know what? It comes in 2 amazing flavors. They have a sugar-free energy strawberry kiwi and the best sugar-free energy blackberry lemonade.
I had food poisoning this week, and I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you I had my Liquid IV in my giant tumbler, just sipping it, trying to stay hydrated, and I think it saved me.
It's scientifically formulated to support physical energy, hydration, focus, mood, and social stamina, or in Jack's case, food poisoning stamina.
Ditch the glitch with 0 sugar and 0 crash from Liquid IV.
Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with the code BookTalk at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order with code BookTalk. BOOKTALK at liquidiv.com.
As a kid, there was nothing more important than that next PlayStation game. My parents made us save for that stuff.
If only you had Acorns Early.
Yeah, because I had to carry cash, man. That's hard to keep.
Acorns Early is the smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
If you're one of those parents who likes chore charts, you can start with in-app chores trackers and teach your kids the value of $1.
By doing that, it lets your kids set their own saving goals and start building healthy money habits early. I really wish I had something like this when I was younger.
I wish my parents made me do this now.
Actually, yes.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their very own customizable debit card, giving them that extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early's spending limits and real-time spending notifications, you are always going to stay in control, parents.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/booktalk or download the Acorns Early app. That's 1 month free when you sign up for acornsearly.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fees starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms.
That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined.
Prime Big Deal Days este 7 y 8 de octubre, aprovecha grandes ofertas en un nuevo spa de pies. Te transformará en la reina de la relajación.
¡Espera! ¡Tiene chorros de burbujas!
Aprovecha hasta 40% menos en Prime Big Deal Days 7 y 8 de octubre.